70 million acres of wide open possibilities. Nevada is untouched. A place where the desert comes to life, the ground holds the history, and nature perseveres.
There are amazing archaeological resources here, big petroglyph panels, really incredible rock formations, such as this amazing Aztec sandstone we have behind us. It's just a spectacular place.
In Gold Butte, I discover hundreds of thousands of reasons to explore the newest national monument in Nevada.
How did you get into this? Because most people think snakes. I'm going that way, but you seem to go that way.
I meet Jason and his team of Mojave Desert reptile species.
The wind is coming from that direction.
Yeah.
We will go back perpendicular to the wind,
Which would be that way.
which would be that way.
And I find a new passion in Jean Dry Lake.
With one of the most spectacular views.
I'm John Burke. Join me as I explore the 7th largest state in the nation, here on Outdoor Nevada.
I know what you're thinking. Hey, I like to get outdoors and explore and be adventurous, but John, I've been to Red Rock Canyon, I've been to Valley of Fire. What else you got? My friend, I got this, Gold Butte, Nevada.
Carved out of sandstone dunes over 170 million years ago, and now one of our nation's newest national monuments, Gold Butte, Nevada is flat out beautiful.
I got somebody I want you to meet. This is Jana Moen. She's the executive director of the Friends of Gold Butte. And Jana, it is such a pleasure to see you.
Nice to see you.
Friends of Gold Butte. Sounds great. What is that?
Well, Friends of Gold Butte is a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to protect Gold Butte.
How did you get involved in that organization?
So I love the Mojave Desert. It is a passion of mine to be in this beautiful place. And so when I saw that the Friends of Gold Butte was looking for somebody to help with their campaign to protect Gold Butte, I said, sign me up.
Yeah, and when they saw you, they said, sign her up.
Jana found in Gold Butte a new home to express her passion for conservation and sustainability.
Tell me about Gold Butte. How big is it, and what's going on here?
So Gold Butte is a pretty big area of land. It's 350,000 acres of Mojave Desert land. It has ranges in elevation, but it's mostly, as you see behind here, just classic Mojave Desert land. There are amazing archaeological resources here, big petroglyph panels, really incredible rock formations, such as this amazing Aztec sandstone we have behind us. It's just a spectacular place.
Where are we exactly?
So we are here at Whitney Pockets in the heart of Gold Butte. It just captures everything that we want to see, the mountains, the desert. It's a great place to be.
Tell me more about some of the recreational activities that people do out here.
Well, there are over 500 miles of roads and trails in Gold Butte, so people like to come out here and ride ATVs and drive their Jeeps. Hiking is spectacular here. The photography, there's great photographic opportunities. So if you're in photography, it's a great place to be.
You know, I think people think of Red Rock or Valley of Fire, and then Gold Butte is something that they see on a calendar, but maybe they don't get out here, and it's really spectacular, and it's not that far.
Not that far at all.
All right, can we go look around?
Absolutely, let's go.
Come on.
All right.
Our first stop takes us to one of the most scenic locations in Gold Butte, Little Finland. This area is also known as Devil's Fire.
And tell me about the geology here. How did this happen?
So what we're standing on is Aztec sandstone, and all around us is Aztec sandstone. It was a big sand dune field that spread across 4 states in the western United States about 170 million years ago. And this particular area is really unique because of the erosional forces that have acted on it to carve really unique sandstone sculptures out of the rock.
What's amazing is that people can come out here and experience this and just climb amongst it and really get in touch with it. And it feels like like Utah a little bit.
A little bit like Utah. We're very close to Utah, about 40 miles from the state line.
Why do they call it Gold Butte?
Gold Butte was originally a mining town site. In the year 1905, somebody discovered gold about 20 miles from here, a little bit south of here. After that, it became kind of a boom area where a lot of people moved in. 4 years later, they didn't discover any more gold, so they moved out, but the name stuck.
History at Gold Butte goes back way before 1930. There's been human activity here for over 12,000 years, and they've left behind some gripping mysteries.
What do we got here?
Well, so here is the Falling Man Petroglyph, which is this is the petroglyph that this area is named for. And nobody really knows why.
Wow.
They carved that. Could be a memorial, could be a warning, but it's a very unique petroglyph image. It was probably carved somewhere between 4,000 and 8,000 years ago.
So you come here, you see this, you can almost make up your own story.
Right.
I mean, did he fall? Was it a warning? It's amazing.
A short hike takes you to the iconic Falling Man Petroglyph. This rock art stands alone, but around the corner there's much more to see.
We are in the Falling Man Petroglyph area in Gold Butte, and this particular rock is called newspaper rock.
And I see why, because there's a whole lot of conversation happening here. Do you know what it says at all?
You know, nobody really knows the meaning of the petroglyphs. Likely this conversation happened over the period of thousands of years, but you can guess as to what some of these might mean. This example looks like a cradle board, so perhaps it represents a birth.
And what purpose would this rock have? Would this have been the front page of the paper? Would this have been the internet of the day?
It might have been, you know, it might have recorded births, it might have been a navigational symbol. Sometimes you see bighorn sheep, and those are hunting grounds, so yeah, it probably was very similar to a newspaper.
Ancient people made these petroglyphs by scraping off the dark desert varnish that accumulates on sandstone over time. If they had painted the rock, it would be called a pictograph.
Culturally, how important is this area that this be taken care of and shared for future generations?
This is a hugely significant area to care for. It contains all of these ancient traditions, ancient secrets maybe, in the rocks of all these different cultures, and it just connects us to how humans have lived on this landscape throughout time. And if we preserve it, then we can know that for many future generations to come.
As of December 28, 2016, Gold Butte is a national monument, and our link with the past has become that much stronger.
You know, there are some places in Nevada that are just flat out beautiful, and some are historic, and somehow you took me to a place that's both at the same time, and it's profound and awe-inspiring. I've had the time of my life. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming out today, John.
Only less than 3 hours away from Las Vegas, Gold Butte has the power to transport you into ancient times, and yet keeps you grounded in this very moment.
You know, it's hard to believe that thousands of years ago, this place was bustling. There were families, there were births and deaths and newspapers. And now, all that remains is the beautiful scenery and the clues that they left behind waiting on your discovery here at Gold Butte, Nevada.
Piercing eyes, a taunting hiss with the whip of a split tongue, and fangs filled with potent venom put reptiles in most people's nightmares. Today, I take a look at these creatures' nature and understand how to respect their space.
I want you to meet one of the most interesting, smartest guys I know. This is Jason Jones. He's a state herpetologist. Nice seeing you, buddy.
Nice seeing you, John.
How did you get into this? Because most people think snakes. I'm going that way, but you seem to go that way. How come?
Well, from an early age, I was really intrigued by snakes and salamanders. My grandmother actually would take me hiking in bare-hand snakes. She went and painted landscapes. So from an early age, I was really intrigued by snakes and amphibians.
Jason Jones has worked for the Nevada Department of Wildlife for the past 5 years. As the state's herpetologist, he studies Nevada's reptiles and monitors their environmental conditions.
Now, when it comes to the state of Nevada, we got a lot to study, right?
We do. We have a number of species. We have 2 different desert ecosystems, so that just increases the number of species that we have in the state.
Is part of your job going up in the mountains and looking for snakes?
It is. Snakes, lizards, even tortoise.
What can we learn about our planet from studying these things?
So reptiles in particular, as amphibians are indicator species, meaning they're kind of like canaries in a coal mine. Because they're cold-blooded or ectotherms, they tend to really reflect what's going on with regard to climate and also habitat changes. So by studying these things and their population trends, we're able to get a better bead on how habitat and climate changes may impact not only species, but us.
Jason and his team brought 4 species of snakes native to the Mojave Desert. Volunteer Bob McKeever handles these rattlers for demonstration.
So here we have a sidewinder. It's a rattlesnake that is known throughout the Mojave Desert. This is a really cool species. They're known primarily from sandy habitats, and they have some really cool what they call supraocular scales, which is just above the eyes. They're kind of horn-like projections, which help it kind of get into sand so they can sit and wait to prey on things that happen to pass by.
What would this eat?
They're not terribly what you'd call neurotoxic, so that's indication that they probably eat anything from small lizards to mice.
The sidewinder travels up to 18 miles per hour, quickly finding a spot to burrow itself into the desert sand while hunting for prey.
Now we're talking about the kind of snake that makes you nervous. What is this one
So
here?
this is a speckled rattlesnake. Not a lot is really known about some species of rattlesnake, and I think possibly it could be due to just fear or a lot of myths surrounding rattlesnakes. But in terms of like speckled rattlesnakes, they seem to be doing well. And that might be a function of the fact that we have so many rocky outcroppings throughout southern Nevada, and you know, it seems to have a good population of small mammals for them to eat.
In terms of them being active, they need a certain temperature?
Yeah, they definitely operate at temperatures usually above 70, and then tend to go dormant or hide when it gets maybe above 90.
Snakes rely on environmental conditions to regulate body heat. Extreme temperatures can be fatal in minutes.
Tell us what we got here. Wow, that's a different color.
So this is a Panamint rattlesnake. As you saw the speckled rattlesnake before, this is actually very closely related. Previously considered the same species, just a different subspecies, but due to genetics and morphology, we've realized that it's a different species.
I want to talk about their fangs, if you will. Is it an ejection system or like a hypodermic needle?
Rattlesnakes, when they open their mouth, essentially their teeth are hinged. They will come out, and just like a hypodermic needle, rattlesnakes will essentially inject that venom into their prey. So there's the old kind of wives' tale that you can suck venom out of a wound, but in fact, it'd be as silly as getting a flu shot and trying to suck that out of your arm.
Venomous snakes bite an average of 5,000 people per year in the U.S. However, fatalities are rare.
So this is a Mojave rattlesnake. This is considered largely to be one of the more toxic snakes, and that's due to what they call the Mojave toxin or a neurotoxin. Unlike the species you saw before, those actually are more cytotoxic, meaning they'll lyse blood cells and cause a lot of necrosis, which is good for eating an object when it's partially digested in a sense. This, however, will cause like respiratory failure as well as mild heart attacks in their prey.
Neurotoxic, hemotoxic venom makes the Mojave rattlesnake one of the most dangerous animals in the country.
If you do get bitten, in the rare case, what do you do?
First thing you should do is stay calm. You don't want to increase your heart rate, which is going to be a hard thing to do because you just got bitten. Call 911 and get yourself to medical attention as soon as possible.
Okay, if you do stay calm, how much time do you have before that really starts setting in?
Kind of depends, but you have about an hour to 2 hours.
Of the 53 reptiles that call Nevada home, only 7 are dangerously venomous, 6 pit vipers and the Gila monster.
We now have Jess with us. Jess, nice seeing you. Thanks for joining us. Who does Jess have with her?
Jess has a Slinky, the gopher snake. Gopher snakes occur across the entire state of Nevada, and they're considered to be the great impersonator, a mimic of a rattlesnake. Not only is the pattern similar to that we'd see of a rattlesnake, but also they have this really amazing ability to not only rattle their tail when they feel threatened, but also flatten their head and hiss. So they give off not only the look, but also the sound that a rattlesnake would make.
What do they eat?
These guys, as you'd imagine, eat gophers or mammals. There's some evidence that they can eat other snakes like rattlesnakes.
Interesting.
So The nice thing about having a gopher snake in your backyard is that they're probably eating the things you don't want in your backyard.
Let's talk more about that. If you see a snake in your backyard, how do you identify whether or not it's venomous or not?
So the easiest way is to actually just get a good look at the tail. If the snake is patterned like this and the tail has a rattle, obviously it's a rattlesnake. Nevada is a great place in terms of identifying what's venomous and not, because the only venomous snakes we have in Nevada, at least dangerously venomous, have a rattle on them. Otherwise, the snake's going to have a very tapered tail, as Slinky has, and they're going to have a very triangular head. So as you see, Slinky's head is it's only triangular if I kind of push against it, but it's not as triangular as a rattlesnake's. It's really relatively narrow.
I've noticed you don't spend a lot of time handling this. It's always people around you, I'm just saying. Jess, thank you very much. Now, you got one more thing to show me, right?
I do.
All right, let's go check it out.
Jason has one more reptile lined up, the first venomous animal to earn legal protection and one of the rarest creatures to spot in the wild.
All right, tell me what you got.
Okay, I have two Gila monsters, a male and female.
And how old are these? Wow, look at that.
Here's the female.
Okay.
I'll let you hold that one.
All right.
So the female that you're holding is somewhere between 25 and 30 years old. This male is about 15 years old.
2 feet long and 5 pounds heavy, this near threatened species ranks as the largest lizard native to the United States.
Tell me about their characteristics, because they feel kind of, well, bumpy.
Right, so these guys do have bumpy skin. It's called osteoderm, and what that means is essentially they have bone-infused fragments in their skin. It's effectively armor.
And they are venomous. How does that work?
They are. So unlike a rattlesnake that has venom glands located in the top of its mouth, these guys have chin glands right here, thus the bulge on their jowls, and the venom is administered in a little different way. It's actually kind of exuded through the bottom of their jaw, and they have grooved teeth which facilitate the venom entry into their prey.
What does the tongue do?
The tongue acts as a chemical receptor. So when they flip out that forked tongue, similar to that of a snake, they pick up chemical cues in their environment, and that literally is parked into their brain, into a thing called the Jacob's organ, and that analyzes their environment.
And how rare would you say these are, really?
You know, some people have spent 30 years in the desert looking for these things, and depending on the desert in which you're looking for them, they could be really, really hard to find.
Gila monsters spend over 90% of the time underground, emerging only for food and sun.
What do they eat?
So I think they're aptly named because every kid fears a monster. Similarly, the babies of small mammals are probably fearful of Gila monsters. They eat small baby mammals, and they also will eat eggs of lizards, snakes, tortoises, and birds. And so they're pretty good at picking up kind of the weak and feeble.
These lizards have the ability to store fat in their tails, reducing the need to frequently hunt for food.
You actually have been tracking some of these. How do you do that?
We have. So to track a Gila monster is no easy task. First you have to find one, which it's hard to do. We implant a transmitter into their body cavity. So we use a veterinarian to actually anesthetize the monster, and we implant a small transmitter that's roughly the size of a AAA battery. Lasts for about 2 years, and it gives off a radio signal. So with the use of an antenna and a radio, we're able to find where that monster is. Unfortunately, we had one Gila monster we were tracking that found its way into the suburbs, and as it was trying to cross the road, was run over repeatedly.
The presence of humans impacts Gila monster populations through habitat destruction and unsafe interactions.
People obviously find rattlesnakes as being something scary, and Gila monsters as well, but the answer to that is education. And so I just want to take a second to say thanks. Thanks for all the work that you're doing out here and educating people about the beauty of these animals.
Well, thank you for coming out.
Great, Jason. What a privilege. Gene Dry Lake Bed outside of Las Vegas. Looks like a whole bunch of nothing. But you know, people in this state, they'll turn nothing into something. Today, We're going land sailing.
Attach a sail to a three-wheeled vehicle, pray for good wind, and there you have it, land sailing.
Somebody you gotta meet. This is Shafak. Nice seeing you, buddy. How are you?
Nice to see you as well. Thank you. How are you doing?
Beautiful name. It means something.
It means early sunrise, dawn, when the sun is rising up from the horizon.
Was that when you were born?
That was when I was born.
I love it.
Hence the name.
Originally from Turkey, Shafak moved to the United States over 10 years ago. His dreams came true with the creation of his outdoor adventure company, Detour Vegas.
I've heard about this land sailing, never done it. I'm so fascinated. How did you get into it?
We come out to Jean Dry Lake Bed for paragliding, and one of the club members had one of these carts. He let me try it once, and I tried it, and I fell in love.
Now, how many do you have now?
We have about 10 of these.
And what do you love about it?
With one wind, you can go any direction. You're not limited to go just with the downwind. I like the fact that it's so peaceful here. Las Vegas is sometimes hectic, lights, noise, a lot of attention grabbers. Here you have none of that. It's just a peaceful, dry lake bed, some mountains in the horizon, and I love that peace.
22 miles south of Las Vegas, Jean Dry Lake Bed spreads on 1,800 wide-open acres, a blank canvas for art projects, photo shoots, and all sorts of dusty adventures.
Now, how fast do these go?
Our carts go as fast as about 25 miles. That's what it is rated. It can go more, but we should stay on that. But you could go much faster with higher-end models.
And speaking of high-end and going much faster, the world record wasn't too far from here, right?
It was just done beyond these mountains over there, about 10 miles from here. And the speed record was 126 miles per hour. No engine, no pedaling, just the power of the wind.
The world record for land sailing speed was broken in 2009 in Ivanpah Dry Lake by Richard Jenkins. The wind gusts oscillated between 30 and 50 miles per hour.
All right, well, let's do a show and tell and see what this is all about.
Let's go and do it. I'll show you all what it takes.
In my case, wind speed needs to be above 10 and below 20 miles per hour, the recommended speed for beginners.
Steer with the feet. Now make a few turns, right and left. Just feel comfortable with it. The wind is coming from that direction.
Yeah,
We will go best perpendicular to the wind,
which would be that way.
which should be that way. And then we're gonna make a U-turn into the wind, coming straight back the same way.
Okay.
So we will be on a parallel line. When we're turning,
Yeah.
we want to release the rope
Yeah.
so that the sail, now release it,
Yeah,
the sail has a chance to go to the other direction like this.
okay.
In land sailing, you steer with the pedals and control the speed through the tension on the rope.
John, come to me. Come to me straight. Relax the rope. Relax the rope. We're gonna stop, okay? Come to me like this. Turn, turn, turn into the wind. Go into the wind. Straight into the wind. That's how you stop.
Got it.
Land sailing went from a modest method of transportation in the early 1900s to a racing sport in the 1950s.
Relax completely. Make the turn. Straight, that way.
Nothing to it. This took 20 seconds. Having the time of my life. Woohoo! I don't want to do this alone. You want to grab one?
Let me grab it and join you.
All right, let's go. Woo! It's so beautiful out here, you got to remind yourself to look up.
The wind constantly changes, and just like navigating through life, you have to keep on adjusting.
A lot of sailing and no sharks. I'm having the experience he had a couple of years ago. Now I'm hooked. Thank you very much for expanding my mind.
It's been my pleasure, John.
I'm not stopping here. I'm going back in.
Let's go again. I'm following you, John.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Support for Outdoor Nevada comes from Jaguar Land Rover Las Vegas and Jaguar Land Rover Reno, inspiring the spirit of adventure with confidence in any terrain or conditions. Information at jlrlv.com or jlrreno.com.